You're all welcome to this second part of the presentation. I sincerely want to believe that you were able to watch the first part of this series of presentation. Just in case you haven't done so, please, I want to advise you to go and watch the first part from the beginning to the end, so you will be able to key into this second part, which has to do with how to get started with the process. For somebody who is interested in having one of these AI managed bots to be able to do cryptocurrency trading in a safe mode, how can somebody be able to acquire one of such robots, link them up or plug them onto an exchange and is able to make profit for himself, either on daily basis, weekly basis, or monthly basis, as the case may be. So I'm going to walk you rapidly through the process. So what does it take for somebody to get started? Very simple. First and foremost, you will need to get registered on the website using the referral link of whoever spoke to you about the business or whoever is going to be your upline. Make sure that you get a referral link from the person, use it and create for yourself a space on the company's website. That is the first thing you've got to do. Secondly, you are going to have to select and purchase a performance pack. There is something called a performance pack, which you will have to purchase. And the performance pack you will have to purchase because there are several categories or several types of performance packs. Now, the performance pack that you are going to purchase is what is going to determine for you the maximum amount of profit that this particular robot you want to make use of can produce for you, which means in essence, you are the person who decides how much profit you want the robot to produce for you. There are people who want a profit of, let's say, 33 euros, 66 euros. Somebody who wants a profit margin of maybe 330 euros. Another person who wants a profit margin of up to about 11,550 euros, and so on and so forth. So the amount of profit that you want to have from your robot is going to be determined by the performance pack that you are going to purchase. Now, a performance pack is just like a license. It's like you are buying a license in order to make use of the robot. The robot itself, which is a product, is free. We don't buy it. The robot is given for free. It's just like somebody who is given a car for free. The person didn't buy the car. The car was offered to the person for free. But before the car is able to move from point A to point B, that car requires fuel. You need to put fuel inside the car, without which the car wouldn't be able to displace itself from point A to point B. That's exactly how it works with this. So our robots are free of charge. In fact, nobody buys a robot. The robot is given to you for free. But the robot requires a certain level of energy, meaning that you need to supply this robot first with this energy. And it is the quantity of energy that you supply to this robot that will determine how the robot is going to work and produce profit for you. And this energy is gotten through what we call performance pack, otherwise known as a license. You can decide to call it a license, but we professionals refer to it as a performance pack because it's a pack that determines the performance of the bot that you're going to use. Now we have different categories. The smallest in value is this one. This performance pack actually costs 11 euros. Just 11 euros, you can get it. Now, if you get this performance pack of 11 euros, then the robot that is going to be associated to this license is going to produce a total of 300% as profit. Now, the question is 300% of what? 300% of this amount that you spend to purchase a performance pack. So if you evaluate 300% of 11 euros, that gives you 33 euros. So that means a robot that is attached to this particular license which you have purchased can only produce a maximum of 33 euros. It cannot generate beyond 33 euros for you. So once it generates a profit of 33 euros, that is it. The robot is done with its job. So you will now have 33 euros as your profit. It's as simple as that. But now, if you go in for a robot as small as this, the truth be told, you are going to get this profit of 33 euros. But it might take you a very long time for you to generate these 33 euros. That's why it is advisable to go in for bigger performance packs. For instance, for somebody who really wants to enjoy this business, if you really want to enjoy it, if you really want to enjoy the benefits of this business, you really want to appreciate the rewards, then the minimum performance pack that you should be thinking of going in for, a minimum, should be 1,100 euros. So from 1,100 euros, you can actually enjoy the real benefits, and over a very short space of time that you'll be able to get these benefits as opposed to these other licenses. Now, for somebody who says, I might not be able to afford up to 1,100 euros at the moment, at least if the worst comes to the worst, begin from here. Begin from 550. Look at what there is to this license. With 550 euros, If you purchase this particular performance pack, then the performance pack is going to end up producing 350% for you. 350% of 550 euros gives you 1,925 euros, meaning that you purchase it, you spend 550 euros. Then at the end, the robot is going to make a turnover of 1,925 euros. When I say turnover, I mean in terms of profit. This is the profit you are going to realize from this. For somebody who goes in for this performance pack, the person is going to make 400% of this, which is 4,400 euros. Now, for somebody who comes or who goes in for this pack, which costs 110,000 euros, 600% of this one is going to give the person 660,000 euros. This is the amount of money that the person is going to make as maximum profit, meaning the person can never make beyond this maximum profit, no matter how much money you put in your trading account. So if you've understood this, then we are going to go to the last step that is expected for you to take before everything starts working automatic. Right now, there was a promo that was ongoing whereby anybody who went in for any of these performance packs here, the person was able to gain an extra percentage profit that could be generated for the person by the board. For instance, before now or outside the promo, anybody who went in for this 110 euros performance pack, in fact, the person was going to have a profit margin of 300% of this one, which normally should have been given the person 330 euros, thereabout. But now, anybody who did purchase this package within the time frame when the promo was on, because right now at the time of this recording, the promo is out. It is no longer possible for somebody to enjoy or to get to benefit from that promo which was running when it was time for it. But right now the promo is out, but we don't know. There's a possibility for the company to still come up again, maybe with another promo, but for now, we are not sure about it. So anybody who took advantage of that promo period, instead of having just 300%, the person had an extra 200%, which was giving the person a total of 500%. So if you evaluate 500% of 110 euros, it's going to give the person a total profit of $636.68. That's the total profit that the person was going to make instead of 333 euros for the person, thereabout. So same thing applied to all of this, but like I said, that promo period is actually out. Now let's see the third thing that the person is expected to do. That's after registering on the exchange and after getting to select a performance pack, which the person is going to buy in function of how much profit the person wants to make. And the third and last thing the person is expected to do will be to select a robot and connect to an exchange. We have different robot sizes. So you can either choose, like I said, the robot is free, it is not bought. The only thing which is bought in this particular business is the performance pack. So assuming that you purchase a performance pack, I'm going to use one performance pack as an example. Let me use this one. Assuming that you've been able to purchase a performance pack of 1,100 euros, which means you are expecting at the tail end a total profit of 4,400 euros. But now the robot you are going to select, so because remember that profit that you are expecting there is only indicative. It doesn't mean that because you have bought the performance pack, automatically that profit will come. No, there is still one thing you need to do, which is associating a robot, because what is going to do the buying and selling every now and then repeatedly in order for you to make profit that is going to constitute the total profit that is represented by that percentage profit margin, which is indicated on the performance pack, is the U-chain robot or the U-bot. Now, so you have to come and make a selection of any of these bots here. You can decide to choose any of these bots, but there are certain conditions you must observe. Meaning what? If actually you've purchased a performance pack as this one, if this is the performance pack you have purchased, 1,100 euros worth of a performance pack, then which of these bots are you going to select? Is it possible for you to select this bot? The answer is no. Is it possible for somebody to select this one? The answer is no. Is it possible for somebody to select this? The answer is no. Is it possible for somebody to select this? The answer is yes. This is the minimum robot, or this is the minimum bot that you must select. Why is it so? Because there is a condition. And what is the condition? The condition is that if you have purchased a certain performance pack for this amount of money, for instance, the bot that you are going to select also, the minimum amount that you must give to that bot as a trading capital must not be less than 1,100 euros worth in terms of USDTs. Meaning it will come back here. This is a bot. This one is in fact, this is the smallest bot. This bot requires a minimum deposit of what? $128. But the performance pack that you bought that over there, in fact, what I just showed you a moment ago, was a performance pack of 1,100 euros, which is about $1,250. So that is the minimum amount, 1,200 and something dollars, which is the equivalent of 1,100 euros. But now the minimum deposit here is just 128, which is far less than the minimum amount that was used to purchase the performance pack. So if you choose a bot size whose minimum deposit is less than the amount of money you spend to purchase the performance pack in question, then it is not going to work. The system will not work for you because there's a mismatch between the performance pack and the bot, which means the pairing is not a good one. So you must make sure that with that bot, that performance bot, which you have purchased for 1,100 euros, the minimum deposit, because each of these bots has a minimum deposit and a maximum deposit. For this one, the minimum deposit of this one is $128, but the maximum trading capital you can give to this bot is $1,274. If you give it more dollars than $1,274, the extra dollars will not be considered, means it will not trade the extra. So it will only carve out this maximum amount, and that's what it will be trading. And once it carves out this amount, each time it goes to the market, each time the bot goes to the market, and there's a favorable entry position for it to buy, it can only buy for a maximum of $20 at a time, meaning that the minimum order, each time it is purchasing, it purchases with a maximum of $20. It cannot purchase beyond $20. That is what this particular bot does. But for somebody who has bought a performance pack of 1,100 euros, it is obvious we cannot use this bot because the minimum deposit here is lower than the amount of money that was used to purchase the performance pack. Now, if we come, same applies to this one, same applies to this one. Now, let us look at the case of the medium robot. With the medium robot, the minimum deposit there is $1,274. This one is already above the amount that was spent to purchase that particular performance pack of 1,100 euros, which means that this bot is the right bot to be linked to your exchange account. Now, what is the exchange that we are going to link this bot to? There are several exchanges. For now, we have three. It's either you link it to MEXC, the MEXC exchange, or you link it to BingX. If you have a BingX exchange or the MEXC exchange, you can link to it. If you have HTX exchange, also you can also connect to it. Even though for now, the most active exchanges for this bot are the MEXC exchange and the BingX exchange. Now, let us come back to this. Assuming that you connect this bot to it, which is free, like I said, it therefore means the minimum amount you must give to this bot as trading capital should be $1,274. Anything less than that is not going to work, like I already explained. So assuming that you put $1,274 on your exchange account and you've already plugged in this bot to it, this bot, the responsibility of this bot will always be to come to this your $1,274, and each time it wants to buy the UCN coin from the market, the minimum quantity or the minimum amount that it must spend at a time to buy the UCN coin, each time it sees a good entry position, is $100. It cannot buy for something less than $100. That is the size of this bot. Each time it goes to the market to buy the coin, the minimum amount that it spends to buy is $100. So you has $1,274 inside. So you will keep spending $100. Each time there's a good entry position, it will get inside, takes $100 out of this your $1,274 and does the purchase with it. Now, for somebody who has more resources, more money to load on the exchange, the maximum amount you can load on the exchange for this your robot or for this your bot to trade is 12,731. If you give it 13,000, it will extract only the 12,731 out of it, and the other balance it will not trade. It will use only the 12,731 to do the trading. Each time there is a good entry position, it will enter the market with a minimum of what? $100 a buy. So if you divide 12,731 by $100, you will see the number of times that the robot can get into the market and do purchases at favorable conditions for you. Once it buys at a certain entry position, it will have to wait till when the coin rises again to the level that it can give you a certain amount of profit, then it is going to sell. It is as simple as that. So what you need to bear in mind is, first, you register on the exchange. Secondly, you need to buy a performance pack, and the performance pack that you buy is a function of how much profit you want to get from this system. And then lastly, you will need to select the appropriate robot to connect your exchange account in function of the performance pack which you purchase. Make sure the minimum deposit that you're going to put in that your exchange account shouldn't be less than the amount you spend in purchasing the performance package. It's as simple as that. Now, another thing you will need to bear in mind is, since this one can be connected, since the minimum deposit is 1,274, what if somebody decides to come to this one? This one has a minimum deposit of 3,183, which is already above, far above the same 1,100 euros that was spent to buy the performance pack. So the bigger the robot size here, the more advantageous it is for you, because the more you go up, the higher will be the amount that the robot can spend to buy, the coin in the market each time he sees a good entry position. If you deposit instead 6,366 here, then for choosing this particular robot, it means each time he goes to the market to buy, he will buy for a minimum of what? $300. And remember, if two persons go to the market at a certain entry point, maybe the person with this bot, his own bot goes to the market, buys the UCN coin for $20, and the person with this bot, his own bot goes to the market, buys the same UCN coin for $150. By the time the coin makes a 5x or a 6x, this person is going to make more profit than this other person, because this one was able to purchase the UCN coin at that time with more money, or the person was able to purchase more UCN coin than this other person with $20. That's just the difference in it. And then secondly, the person who has a higher capital or more capital will spend little time to be able to hit the targeted profit margin as specified by the performance pack. So the more capital you give to it, the more the robot will be able to trade multiple times to produce the targeted profit for you. And he will be able to do that over a short space of time. But for somebody who comes in with a minimum as this, the person is definitely going to get the assigned profit, but the person might need to take a pretty long time. Imagine somebody who is buying for just $20 at a time, comparing to somebody who is probably buying for $600 at a time. So you see that this person will make more profit faster than the person who is making the same profit using a smaller amount of money. So it is as simple as that. So once you've understood all of this, then you are good to go. So assuming that you have, let's say somebody says, okay, in hand right now, I have $1,000. How do I proceed with $1,000? It's simple. It's simple. With $1,000, in their $1,000, make sure that part of it acquires a performance pack for you, and the other portion of the $1,000 should do what? Should go into your trading capital, because the more trading capital you have, the faster you will take to cycle out, means that to make the targeted profit. For instance, with $1,000, somebody can decide to come in here with, let's say, of course, it wouldn't make any sense for somebody to go in for this particular performance pack, because this one will take already more than the person's $1,000, and that's just for the performance pack. But now the person will require the trading capital, so it wouldn't make sense for the person to begin from here. Assuming that the person decides to come here, let's say begin with a package for let's say 220 euros or 550 euros. With 550 euros or 220 euros, for instance, if you calculate the USDT equivalence of this one, that should give you about $250. So if you spend $250 to acquire this performance pack, what is the total profit that you are expecting from this at the end? The total profit will be 704 euros. Now, 704 euros is the total profit, which means, assuming that 220 euros is equivalent to, let's say, $250. That's the equivalent in USDTs, which you are going to spend to buy this performance pack. Which means if you take $1,000 minus $250, that gives you $750, which means you will be left with $750 to load in your exchange account so that the robot can trade. Remember, that $750 you are loading in the exchange account is not money you are giving to the company. No, it's your money. The robot will use it to trade back and forth until it ends up producing a profit of 704 euros before it stops. Once it produces this profit of 704 euros, then the robot has already reached the end of his job. Then it means what you'll be having in hand will be 704 euros plus the 750 euros which you actually put in your exchange account. So put these two together, you will see the total amount of money that you've made. But this 220 euros, which is about $250, which you spend in purchasing the performance package, you will never get this money back. This is what goes to the company. But every other thing, what you put in your exchange account will always come back to you after it would have been traded and produced the targeted profit that it is meant to produce for you. So it is as simple as that. Once you've understood that, then you've understood everything there is to understand. So in summary, what you need to do is decide on a package. Deciding on the package means select a performance pack, and selecting the performance pack will already show you the targeted profit. So it is a performance pack that tells you the performance, or rather the target profit. But the target profit does not mean it is money you have already. No, it means it is money you want the robot to do the job of buying and selling in the market and end up producing for you. So after getting your performance pack, which shows you a mirror of the targeted profit, what you need to do next is to select a bot size. And like I already explained, every bot has a minimum load. Minimum load means the minimum amount you need to load on the exchange, and also has a maximum amount you can load on the exchange. But you can put anything between the minimum and the maximum on your exchange account. So once you select the bot, and I already gave you the condition, which you must observe in selecting the bot, make sure the bot you are choosing, the minimum load for the bot or the minimum deposit for the bot shouldn't be less than the amount you spent in buying the performance pack. If you do that, then it's not going to work. Your bot will never generate any profit for you in the market. So make sure you don't make that mistake. So if you have maybe just a minimum amount to load in here, okay, you load. Once you load the amount on your exchange account, then the bot will start trading it, gearing towards this target. If you have more money, if you can load the bot with the maximum amount that is expected, then it is even good for you, because the bot is going to take very little time, to cycle that for you. But for somebody who has, let's say, an amount of money which is between the minimum load and the maximum load, you can as well load it. That's why it is written here intermediate. Means if you have anything between the minimum and the max, you can also still load. And the bot is going to use it to trade in the market back and forth, still targeting this reference here, which is specified by your performance pack which you got. It is as simple as that. So all of this is taking place where? On the exchange. Means you have to load the exchange with either the minimum amount or an intermediary amount or the maximum amount, so that this bot, in function of the size that you have chosen, will continue doing the buying and selling in the market until it produces a total profit for you, which is mirrored here by the performance pack which you did purchase. So once you've understood that, you've understood everything there is to understand with this, as simple as that. So it is left for you now to go and choose a performance pack of your choice in function of how much you have in hand, and make sure that if you are giving priority to the performance pack, it is good. It is good, because the performance pack, the bigger the performance pack, the more the profit you are going to make. But don't just go in for a performance pack because you want to make more profit, because the performance pack will also require you to put a certain minimum amount on your exchange account. So if your performance pack is too big and you don't have a minimum, you don't have the minimum amount that is expected by the robot for it to work in association with that performance pack, then it will be difficult for you to make use of that particular trading bot. So you need to be very careful. Don't just go in for something big, but go in for something big which you are able to afford for. It's that simple. But anybody who says, no, I want to go in for this business, let me begin by, let's say, starting with this 11 euros pack. Please, this one I'm already telling you now. These smaller packages are meant for networkers only. If you are not a networker, please don't start with any of this. Don't take anything below 220 euros. In fact, if the worst comes to the worst, this is where you should begin from. Anything below here is meant for networkers. Means that people who can network, and in their networking process, they generate more resources that they'll be able to go in for bigger performance packs and eventually get more money to load on their exchange account. But if you say you just want to invest and make profit from this, from the comfort of your home, please don't go for any pack below this. Not like if you go in for any of these performance packs, you will not get the target profit. You will get it, but it will take you a very long time to get there. And the longer the time it takes, the more it might give you the impression that it is not working. That's because the performance pack that you selected was extremely too small, which will require you to exercise patience for a very, very long time. But the higher the performance pack and with more resources that you put inside, you actually see how the benefits are coming to you on a daily basis. You can actually appreciate the amounts that are generated for you. Now, one thing I also want you to take note of is the fact that the amount of money you load on your exchange account is entirely at your disposal, meaning that At any time of your choosing, you can get to that exchange, you interrupt it, and you collect everything back. For instance, let's say you've loaded your exchange with $1,000 and you have a very pressing issue. You have something very urgent you need to handle with $1,000 and you don't have extra money. You can actually go to the exchange, tell the bot that, "Bot, I'm stopping you now. The $1,000 I gave you to trade on the exchange, give it back to me." And you collect that entire amount, go and do whatever it is you are doing with it. The day or the week or the month or the year, you have another amount of money, you can bring it back and say, "Bot, this is another amount of money I'm giving you. Start trading again from there." The bot does not have any expiry date. The bot only stops working when it has generated the targeted profit it is meant to generate for you. That is when it stops working, which means the bot stays valid for weeks, for months, for years. In as much as the targeted profit has not been reached, it will never stop. And you don't need to do any monthly activations with the bot. Once you've loaded it with the minimum or the maximum capital, that is all there is for you to do. The only thing you have to do is just sit quiet and begin to observe. Just be checking your back office to see the amount of profit that the bot has made for a particular day or for a particular week or for a particular month or whatever the case may be. It's as simple as that. So this one, you don't need to be too knowledgeable about cryptocurrencies to be able to make profit with this particular bot. That's the most amazing thing with this one. And there is no risk of somebody getting to have himself liquidated in this, like it happens with futures trading. So once you are dealing with this bot, you are in safe haven. You are in safe haven. So you are protected. Even if the market goes down, you are protected. So assuming that the coin starts going down in price, you are protected through this bot, because the bot makes sure that it doesn't sell when the price is down. The bot only sells when the price is up. And the good thing with this bot is the fact that the bot does not work with emotions, because that's the problem that manual traders have. Once you see the price of the coin going down, your emotions will start pushing you to go to the market and sell maybe an asset which you were supposed to exercise a little bit of patience over. But because you are being played around left and right by those emotions, you take certain decisions which are not good decisions in the market. So the market can easily trick you into taking decisions which are going to be harmful for you. That is where the bot comes in to help us, because the bot does not work with emotions. This bot can analyze the market within microseconds, something which a human being cannot be able to do. That is why it is absolutely important for you to make use of this bot to make a lot of wealth for yourself from the comfort of your home. Now, the next major question people will be asking is, how much can I be earning from this bot every day? That question is always coming. Now, here is the answer. The truth be told, there is no specific amount that the bot generates for you every day. The bot only waits for favorable entry positions in the market to purchase the UCN coin, and they sell the UCN coin when the price goes up, which means that there are days you might make maybe $1, there are days you might make $2, there are days you might make $10, there are days you can make even $50, there are days you might not even make a single dollar because the conditions are not favorable, which means the robot has been built in such a way that it must always give you profit. It must never put you at a loss. That's why some days, if it doesn't make any profit, it means that the market conditions were not good that particular day. So it helps you. If you were doing it manually, maybe you will not be able to analyze the market well to know that the market is not good. The entry conditions are not good for you not to enter the market. But because you don't have that experience, you might walk into the market and before you know it, you start losing. But the bot takes all of this into consideration and puts you on a safe side. If it doesn't make profit for you in a particular day, it means the market conditions were not good for you on that day. If the market conditions are good for you, for you on that day, then the robot is going to trade and you will have maybe a profit of maybe $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, depending on how favorable the conditions were and depending on the bot that you are selected to associate also to your performance pack. So this is exactly how it works, but the truth still remains. You have access to your trading capital anytime you desire. You can interrupt the bot. You can tell the bot that stop trading, give me the capital. I want to use it for something else. And whenever you have maybe some extra money, you can come again, you give to the bot, you say continue from there, keep on trading. So it will only stop after you would have made the total targeted profit as indicated by the performance pack which you did purchase. So the bot is meant to purchase the coin when the price is low and to sell it when the price is high. So it gets into the market and buys the UCN coin when the price is down. Then when the UCN coin starts going up in value, when it reaches here, it sells to give you profit in terms of what? In terms of USDTs. When the price goes down again, it goes into the market with the trading capital that you have, buys more UCN coin. When UCN appreciates in value, it goes back and sells and gives you more USDTs as profit. That's how the bot is designed to work. So to give a summary of the procedure, the first thing is you need to add a bot. And like I said, the bots are free. We don't buy them. The only thing you need to buy is the performance pack. And what is the criteria you take into consideration in order to select a particular performance pack? What guides you to select a performance pack is the maximum profit that you want the bot to generate for you. That is what should guide you in making a choice of the performance pack. Then after that, you need to do what? You need to top up your exchange account. You need to top up your exchange account with a minimum deposit. If you have more money, you can top it up with the maximum deposit or any amount between the minimum and the maximum deposit. So much so that the bot can start using it to trade until it trades and produces the targeted profit indicated by the performance pack before it will stop. And like I said earlier on, you have the possibility to gain access or to get, your trading capital refunded to you or to get it back. Maybe you want to use it for something urgent, and subsequently you can bring it again and give to the bot for the bot to continue doing the job. So there's no expiry date for the bot. The bot only stops being useful or only stops working when it has completed its mission as indicated by the performance pack or the license. Then from there, you have to proceed to do what? To activate the bot. So for you to activate the bot, there are conditions that must be put together. First condition, you getting to select the bot. Secondly, you getting to buy a performance pack based on your choice. And thirdly, you getting to load your exchange account with the minimum amount that is required. And the minimum amount required is a function of the bot which you would have selected. And I've already shown you exactly what it takes for you to make a choice on the bot in function of the performance pack that you have bought. Make sure you do not lose out or you do not make a mismatch on those two conditions. It's very important. So it's only when these first three have been completed, can you now proceed to the activation of the bot. There are tutorial videos that can give a step-by-step guide on how to go about this. And once you're able to do, these 4 things, then the 5th thing you have to do is just sit back, relax, and enjoy the profit while this bot does everything for you in the market. Now, let me shock you with something.